No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son. My wife and child shot badly.
Is he moving at all, your son? I know you said that she was shot, but what about your son?
Nobody. They're not. Neither one of them moving.
That is Alex Murdaugh, one of the most powerful attorneys in South Carolina, a husband and father who had just reportedly found his wife and son shot, horrifically dead on their family estate. Every person who knew him believed he had just lost everything.
Sir, I wanted to let you know because of the scene, I did go get a gun and bring it down here.
It's in your vehicle? Do you have any guns on you at all?
No, sir. It's leaning up against the side of my car.
Okay. You're fine, man. You're fine. Turn around for me.
I don't have any guns.
Okay. Yes, sir. I see that. Okay. This is your wife and son?
And son.
Okay.
When responding officers arrived at Moselle that night, they found Alex Murdaugh calm enough to surrender a firearm, calm enough to give directions, calm enough to answer every question. Something the officers couldn't quite name yet sat wrong from the very first moment. What detectives found at that crime scene would take over a year to explain. June 7th, 2021, Colleton County, South Carolina. Officers were unknowingly driving toward one of the most disturbing double homicides the American South has ever seen, and the first person they spoke to was already building a story.
This is your wife and son?
And son.
Okay.
It's bad. It's bad. Check the pulses.
Yes, sir. This is the firearm you brought from inside the house?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I went and got. This is a long story. My son was in a boat wreck a few months back. He's been getting threats. Most of it's been benign stuff we didn't take serious.
Okay.
He's been getting punched. I know that's somebody. I know that's what it is.
Okay. When did you get home? Right when you called, or did you go to the house first? Where is the house?
I came to the house first. My mom has late stages Alzheimer's, and my dad is in the hospital.
Okay.
I left. I don't know what time. I can go back on my phone and tell you the exact time. That is loaded.
Okay.
You might want to unload it. But
Is this the only firearm with you? This is the only one, or is there any more in the truck?
I believe that's it.
You think that's the only one? Okay.
I'm 99%.
Do you normally have any other firearms in your vehicle?
I don't, but occasionally there's a pistol in there.
Okay.
Nobody asked Alex about the boat crash. Nobody asked about threats or a face he recognized. He volunteered all of it, a suspect, a motive, and a timeline within 60 seconds of officers arriving. That could be a traumatized father reaching for any explanation in the worst moment of his life. Or it could be something else entirely. At this point, investigators don't know, and neither do we.
Yeah, the police are here now. The police are here now.
Affirmative.
That's my brother.
Okay. When was the last time you were here with them? Or talked to them or anything like that?
It was earlier tonight. I don't know the exact time, but
Okay.
I left. I was probably gone an hour and a half from my mom's, and I saw them about 45 minutes before that.
Okay.
I rode around with Paul for 2 hours this afternoon in the pickup truck.
That's your son, Paul? Okay.
Somebody going to check him?
Yes, sir. They've already checked them.
They did check him?
Yes, sir.
This is official that they're dead?
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like.
Margaret Maggie Murdaugh was 52. Paul Murdaugh was 22. And in the minutes after officers confirmed they were dead.
Gotta call her parents.
What's her name?
Her name is Maggie Murdaugh. Margaret Branstetter Murdaugh. How you doing?
What's her birthday?
9/15/68.
Okay, and what's your son's first name? You said Paul?
Paul Terry Murdaugh.
And what's his birthday?
Jason, do you have anybody
4.
coming through town that could stop and pick up that tent? I see lighting off in the distance.
What are they covering them up?
I got some getting dressed now, Sheriff. I'll have somebody stop and grab it.
Tell them they don't have to do that. They don't need to. Preserve what we can.
653.
Where's it at? I'm in town.
Actually, tried to be the old 8 because he's going to be the only one that's got access.
What's Paul's birthday?
Got it.
April 14th, 1999, sir.
Put it up as wide as you can.
I might run out, though.
That's fine. You said 99?
Sir?
He was born in 99?
He's born April 14th, 1999.
Okay. What's your first name, sir?
My name is Alex Richard Alexander Murdaugh.
Richard Alexander Murdaugh?
He hesitates on Paul's birth year and gets it wrong on the first try. He says he rode around with his son for 2 full hours that same afternoon. Grief distorts memory, that is real. But investigators also noted that throughout this entire exchange, Alex Murdaugh never once asked who did this. Not a single question. For a father who had just driven home to find his family massacred, the silence where those questions should have been is something you cannot explain away. Paul Murdaugh was 22 and facing a criminal charge following a 2019 boating accident that killed 19-year-old Mallory Beach. A civil lawsuit tied to that crash was closing in on the Murdaugh family finances, quietly, slowly, but closing.
Just go over to that corner of the building.
I'm almost to you. Let me see what we have first and whether or not we're going to handle that part or not.
I see quite a few tire tracks in here. Were any of these you going in and out?
No, I came in here and I left one time and I came back.
Okay.
But the rest of them, maybe
Okay.
from earlier, but
Okay.
only 2 are mine.
Did you go out this way at all?
No.
What unit's 23 on Moselle? Alpha 7 unit on scene. Are you behind the house?
There's several of us out here. There's a long dirt driveway right next to the mailbox that says 4147, and you'll see all our lights down here at this shed thing.
Multiple tire tracks, multiple entry points. Then officers found the shell casings, and what those casings told them made everything more complicated.
So I've got multiple gunshots out of that window too.
Do we see a shell?
At least 3.
A shell.
I'm on the 66 area.
Got it.
Yes.
Do you need in and out times or just times arrive? Like if they exit multiple times and come back in?
You don't need to keep doing all that.
Okay.
Just so you know, I've got at least 5 holes in the window in the back of that shed where rounds were exiting out the back that way.
Which is going to be buckshot because of the damn water on the floor. And he was carrying a shotgun on the guy.
It is currently in my vehicle.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm even slightly more confused now if that is a suicide.
Is there a casing under this, or is it just chilling there? Okay, that's just chilling there. That's just trash. I was about to do that. It's okay, I got it.
Then they reached the feed room, and the feed room changed everything.
Yes.
I heard it was white, but I didn't hear it now.
Where did it look like she was hit, Danny?
Her head.
Back of the head.
Looked like a shotgun or rifle round?
That I couldn't tell. There's a big old hole coming out the back of her head. And hair all over the place, so it looked like it probably went in and then came out. And his looked more like the top of his head.
The round on him had a big wad behind us. It was a shotgun.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of 300 or 2 300 Blackout shell casings there, 3 of them right there, and then inside is a shotgun wadding, but we did not see a shotgun shell anywhere.
Which almost leads you. That's
What kind of shotgun did you put in your truck?
I believe it's a 12 gauge.
No, not. What, over and under auto pump. It may still be in the chamber.
Yeah, that would answer the question.
Was there any blood on it?
I didn't look super closely at it. I was more concerned with getting it away from him and
But if
securing it.
he's stretched out because it went in here
took everything out the top. But a pump shotgun, I guess if he fell, but both his hands were laying underneath his abdomen when he fell forward.
Which makes sense if he's got to reach down.
He's got to reach down and do that, yeah. Because he'd have to hold it.
Where's your truck?
Yeah.
Right there, that very first one with the blue lights.
It's in the tape. It's in here.
This front one right here. And the wadding is right there. I lied, it's not a pump. Dirt. Yeah, it did have some dirt on the barrel.
That shotgun there.
Go ahead.
It wasn't a pump. I thought it was, but it's not a pump. It's automatic.
Two different weapons. A shotgun near Paul, but no spent shell casings anywhere on the ground. A .300 Blackout rifle near Maggie, with casings scattered around her body. In a semi-automatic shotgun, casings eject automatically. They do not vanish, which means someone either collected them or left with the weapon entirely. At this point, nobody on the scene can say who, but someone knew this property well enough to move through it in the dark without leaving a trace.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why there's 300 Blackout. Trying to figure out why there's so many shell casings, but only one gunshot went to the back of each head.
Exactly.
Not my job to figure that out. I'm just curious. I only saw one more casing, but just in case I see more.
I mean to put Daniel's car in.
Daniel put his car in there. So,
No gun anywhere?
no. This is, I'll tell you about this in a minute.
I don't think I've ever been out here, so.
Alright, there's one there. There's blood over here.
There's one there.
Right here.
You looking at shell casings? 300 Blackout.
Who's this?
Sheriff?
No, that's a white truck.
Probably.
Okay. What?
There's a couple of shell casings right there.
Yeah, those will be easy to find. I was just marking a couple that were in the gravel. It might be harder to see at some point. I didn't look a whole lot, but it looked like only one wound to the back of each head. So I don't understand what the other casings are about, but
Multiple .300 Blackout casings near Maggie. One fatal wound. That gap means she was shot at more than once, which means there was movement, which means this did not end quickly.
yeah, I'm even slightly more confused now if that is a suicide.
How many pellets are normally in a buckshot?
10, 12.
The reason I ask is just because the holes that are in that window are very large.
Yeah, there's glass.
Some of them larger, some of them smaller.
It'd be hard to, you'd need it in wood or something solid.
There's a whole bunch of trees back there, so they might be able to find something in a tree. I don't know.
What are they thinking now?
I have no clue, but here's what I'm
He had a shot. But,
but basically not his actual brain, but his brain matter is on the ceiling in there. So he was shot at an upward angle. There's a shotgun wad laying on the floor.
Appreciate it.
That would point to suicide. That doesn't explain her or all the 300 Blackout casings.
You think he got here, took the shotgun?
That's what I'm thinking.
She's on trespass for a gray wig, black tank top, jeans, and pink shoes.
But yeah, that's the outlier.
She's on the grocery side.
Yeah, that and the
300 Blackout.
dozen shell casings from 300 Blackout.
For a moment that night, officers genuinely considered whether Paul's death was a suicide before Maggie's body made that impossible. 2 weapons, 2 victims, a killer who knew exactly where to go and exactly how to leave. And then, almost in passing, a detail that one officer recorded that nobody knew what to do with yet.
I haven't asked the dad about the phone, but dad did say he came over and checked their pulses. Beyond that, I don't know what else he may have done.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Your dad did pick your gun up.
He had a shotgun. He did have a shotgun with him, and I have secured that in my vehicle.
Can y'all get a police officer with my older son in Columbia? Have you called Buster? No, I haven't told him yet. It's got to be you to tell him, isn't it?
I marked the ones that were in the gravel, but there's several more.
His older son Buster was in Columbia that night. Alex is already thinking about him. That request will mean something very different when investigators start looking at a $10 million life insurance policy 3 months later.
The gentleman in the white shirt is the husband of her, father of him. That is Paul Murdaugh. That's just his mother. Paul Murdaugh was that guy in the boating accident from a while back, if you remember.
Yeah.
Y'all know who the gentleman is in yellow shirt?
Yeah, his name is Mark Ball.
Yeah, that's the law. That's the victim's partner.
Law partner. There is parts next to him there.
All I want to do is so we can see if I can get where you can lift it on each corner. Lift it that way. You got it right here at the office.
Well, the dad's over there.
Yeah. All I want you to do.
Fire rescue might have some more sheets.
That's okay. That's all right. It shouldn't be anybody at fire rescue right here.
There is, his law partner is back there.
When SLED pulled financial records connected to Alex Murdaugh's law practice in the months following the murders, what they reportedly found was the outline of a completely different life running beneath the one everyone could see. According to prosecutors, Alex Murdaugh had allegedly been stealing from his own clients for years. Settlement money intended for injured people and grieving families reportedly funneled through a fake account he called Forge, designed to look like a legitimate processing company. Among the alleged victims, Gloria Satterfield, the Murdaugh family's own housekeeper. She died after a fall at their home. Alex allegedly convinced her sons to file a civil suit against him so insurance would pay out. Her sons reportedly received almost nothing. By June 2021, investigators allege his firm had discovered the missing funds and scheduled a confrontation for the morning of June 8th. When investigators mapped this timeline against the night of June 7th, the murders at Moselle stopped looking random and started looking timed. But this is still a theory. What investigators needed was something that physically placed Alex Murdaugh at that kennel when Maggie and Paul were killed. Then 3 months after the murders, Alex Murdaugh made a move so desperate and so calculated that investigators finally had a window into exactly how his mind worked under pressure. September 4th, 2021. 3 months after the murders, Alex Murdaugh calls 911 from the side of a rural road in Hampton County, claiming a stranger has just shot him in the head while he was changing a tire. He survived. The wound was superficial. Within days, the account collapsed. Investigators allege he had arranged the shooting himself, reportedly contacting a man named Curtis Edward Smith, a distant cousin, and asking to be shot by the roadside so that his surviving son Buster could collect a $10 million life insurance payout. Cornered by his collapsing finances, he allegedly arranged his own murder for money. Curtis Edward Smith was arrested. However, officers still needed proof that Alex Murdaugh was at the kennel to link him to the double murder, and it turned out proof had been sitting on Paul's phone from the very first night.
Get back. Get back. Quit, Cash. Come. Quit. That's okay. Come here. It's not bad. Come here, Cash. Shit. Come here. Post it. Cash.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth.
Bubba.
That's a guinea.
This is a chicken.
Come here, Bubba.
Come here, Cash.
Come here, Bubba.
Cash. Quit.
8:44 p.m. Paul records a video at the kennels. In the background, 3 voices: Paul, Maggie, and a third. Multiple witnesses identified that third voice as Alex Murdaugh. 8:49 p.m. Maggie's phone goes dark, forever. For over a year, Alex Murdaugh told police he was never at the kennels that night. That video sat on Paul's phone while Alex gave statements to police, while he attended the funerals, while he gave interviews. 14 months, and the proof was already in investigators' hands the entire time. On June 7, 2022, exactly 1 year to the day after the murders, SLED arrested Richard Alexander Murdaugh for the deaths of his wife and son.
Turn your back in? It's probably easier to turn your back in like this.
All right, thank you.
You're pretty long.
Well, obviously the first
And if you want to slide back, it's like I said, you're pretty long, and this is small.
Oh, so sit long ways?
Yeah.
Yeah, sit sideways would be a lot more comfortable for you.
The trial began in January 2023, and Alex Murdaugh, who had spent his entire career understanding exactly how evidence was built and broken, made one final decision. He would take the stand in his own defense. It would be the last strategic mistake of his life. He admitted lying about the kennels, admitted stealing millions from clients. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime, 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Alex Murdaugh was additionally sentenced to 27 years on nearly 100 financial crime charges. The murder weapons were never recovered. If you made it to the end of this one, thank you. We extend our deepest condolences to Maggie Murdaugh, to Paul Murdaugh, and to every family whose trust Alex Murdaugh betrayed, in the courtroom and at home. Our mission is simple: voices for the voiceless. We tell the stories of those who can no longer speak for themselves. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.